The Lake Forest Podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Michelle Parno has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit LaracyCPA.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa, located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank you for. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Otto, John C., Helen, Herrick, JM, and Paul G. Jeff Urso.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Congratulations. Nice event.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
I stiffed your bartender or waitress, whoever it was. Who do I owe?
You gave us a bunch of glasses. We'll have to call that even.
Yeah, you think those will work out?
Yeah, man, we were rocking the koozies. That was kind of fun. That was great.
Okay, good. We got a nice little co-pro going here.
Yeah, no, it's
Where is Joe, by the way?
I haven't seen him yet. We're a couple minutes early.
All right, we're early. Okay, let's see. I talked to the Sarge, Brett Marquardt. What's his name?
Marnett.
Brett Barnett.
No, Marnett.
Brett Marnett. Seems like a cool cat.
He's a good dude. I've known that he's been Lake Forest cop, man, I don't know, 15, 20 years. I don't know, long time.
They're all 20 years, aren't they?
Well, they're experienced and they know their community. Yeah. So he's he used to run like the I don't know if he was a school resource officer, but he used to do a lot of stuff with the kids and stuff. So
talked to him for a little bit. Appreciate him. It was hot. He found a little spot in the shade. Lucky him.
Yeah.
I mean, 90. What was it? 92. What was the high?
92. Yeah, I think 93 actually. And here's the cool thing. Yeah. Well, think about the turnout we had at 93. Imagine if that was 83, right?
Yeah.
So it was. I
or 75.
Right. I mean, we were slammed. But if I talked to a lot of people who are like, hey, the heat was too much, but the overall reception from it, I was getting text, emails, Facebook comments, Instagram comments. People loved it. I know this was like a trial run for Lake Forest, but it was really cool. And I think we're going to see more of that in the future.
No, I was tickled pink, and I had to hustle back and get the glasses and the koozies. I didn't, if I was smarter, I would have brought them in the first place. But
it was great. The kids all got their face painted, and that. Did you try some of these ribs?
Yeah. Those things were moving. The sticky fingers guys,
they killed it. They had some good ribs. I mean, it tasted literally like bacon coated in
sugar
brown sugar or something. Yeah, just delicious. I was like, oh my God, this can't be healthy, but it was really good.
Oh, and it's like, the garage doors. It's a curse, and then it's a blessing, right?
Right.
As you cranking that AC and
Hey, it's well worth it to,
get a
have
little
the
fresh
AC and
air.
the garage doors. I mean, it was what a cool vibe.
No, it was great. And then and the bands that were playing, they
Yeah.
they carried on, and
Yeah, I went to high school with Brett Kreiner, and his band, they do a lot of original stuff, and those guys jam. They're always playing in East Lake Bluff. He's a school teacher. He's a elementary school teacher in Lake Bluff. And this guy, he does so much of these stuff, like events and things, and he doesn't do it really to make any profit. He just does it because he loves playing guitar.
just like a podcast.
Yeah.
No, I think he plays Denelli's a lot to the open mic, I think.
Yeah, he'd be at Denelli's. You'll catch him at the brewery. You'll see him at block parties. I know he's done a lot of like the school PTO outdoor events, stuff like that. So yeah, he's a good guy.
No, great time, Jeff. Kudos to you and Cathy. Hopefully, we did you right. Hopefully, next year now we know.
Well, do you know the history with me and Cathy?
No,
Right?
what's the history? Let's go.
Oh, she's awesome. So when I was 24, I opened Donati's in the back of a courtyard, and we used to run our drivers next to houses. I mean, we were putting signs on the middle of the street. We didn't care. We were like
Yeah,
guerrilla marketing. We just did what we did. And Cathy's always been like that aunt, she'd come by like Jeff, you can't, she never like did anything but help us. Like sometimes I got scolded when I was
yeah.
young. But now it's like Cathy has such a good vision in the city of Lake Forest, and she helps us with everything, whether it's a parking issue or a block party now. I mean, Cathy, a lot of people don't know. Cathy does so much for the city of Lake Forest behind the scenes. So it was actually really cool to work with her to get this thing all pulled off.
I mean, a lot of people talk crap and they don't understand all the stuff that has to go into to make this thing work. All of it. And
Right.
just like you said, I've never had a bad interaction with Cathy, and she's the perfect person to come in and because I mean that's her business, right? She's got to help the city grow, the businesses grow,
Yeah,
and
and she does a good job, and she's been around forever. I mean, since I started, when I'll say forever, like 16 years that I've been working with her directly, and people come and go, aldermen and stuff like that, and it's different players in the game all the time. But Cathy's always the consistent, and she just does a phenomenal job.
no.
Hey,
Talk
Joe.
about
Good morning.
Good morning.
talk about Cathy Z.
I always forget we start on Vince Lombardi time here, 10 minutes
Yeah.
early.
This isn't lotto time, Joe. This is
That's
not
24/7, sir.
not state government work.
Yeah, okay.
So we had a I
Why?
said it. Look, I preface everything. Anything that's bad on this show, or anything that's critical, Pete said it, okay? So you guys can play softball all you
No,
want.
Scoo said it.
Scoo.
Sorry.
Yeah. Scoo, I want my radar detector back.
The thing is gone from in front of his house.
Oh, they
Here's
got to
the-
move it to different. They got to move it to different areas in the city. I'm
I
sure.
think it should just be Scoo's house because there's no more dangerous, more important place that safety is critical in this
I,
great
I,
city
I was,
than that
sometimes I think
block.
Scoo is crazy. Sometimes Scoo, you're a great dude.
I
Sometimes,
can't believe you just said that.
oh, that's okay. I can talk about Scoo. So we got off the podcast last week, Pete. Right here, like I'm sitting on my
Yeah.
laptop. I'm watching this literally live. Like, and I wish we were on 2 more minutes. See someone walk a dog right in front of Duffers.
Bam.
Dog does what he has to do. The person just looks at it and walks away. I'm like, Scoop's right. This is happening. I didn't think there was that many.
Did you call 911 and request a SWAT team?
No, I got some gloves and a plastic bag, and I took care of everything.
You would have done.
But I'm like,
Where are the cops?
where are
Where are
these
the cops? They're
people
at Dunkin'
coming-
Donuts. Go get them from Dunkin' Donuts. Get them over here now with the SWAT team. Bulletproof vest.
If I caught the person, I would have shamed them. I'd be like, "Hey, what was your strategy on this? I'm just curious."
Just
So
what goes through a mind like yours, sir or ma'am?
yeah, right. And I think it's
It
like,
is. I mean, look, we've talked about it before. I just think there is. It's stuff like that. It's stuff like driving. I mean, there is. Go to any large gathering
oh
of
yeah.
people, and
There's
you see the absolute worst in a small group of people. I still think the vast majority of people are good people. I mean, like
yeah.
you go to a sporting event and with your kids, and 99% of the people are really nice. They're nice to your kids and stuff, but you got the one a-hole that's just a jerk. I mean, it's just,
The Pete Jansons of the world. I got it.
Most people are
oh
douchebags. I'm
no,
sorry.
Pete's a gentleman. You should
I'm
see him
sure.
in his pink suit. He looked terrific at
I hope
the
you're putting a photo
father-in-law's
up of that
funeral,
when you watch
unfortunately,
this.
but
Yeah.
That was
everyone was
pink.
raving about your pink suit, Pete.
I was pink.
Was it pink or purple? I don't
I don't
remember.
know. It was laid
You
out
look
for
you
me. I
looked
put it
like a
on.
million bucks, whatever it was.
Well,
Marine must have bought it.
you got to pay your respects. You got to pay your
Yeah.
respects. Hey, nice picture, Weiss, that you put up on Facebook. You had a little dinner the other.
Yeah, I certainly did at Jeff's neighbor's place. Uh,
Follia is the
how do
answer.
you pronounce it? We were trying to figure
Catheter.
out. Is
No,
it?
like I mean the double L's and I think it's Spanish and Italian are Follia, but
Is it a
American
is
you
it a
just say
Follia
Follia.
catheter?
I don't know what that is. But,
It's and I met Bruno,
Mhm.
really nice man,
Yep, very passionate.
perfect gentleman, thought very highly of you, Jeff. So,
That's great.
and
Very important.
I think he wants to come on the podcast. We may have to explain the Zoom concept
Yeah,
to him
yeah,
a
yeah.
little more.
It's going to sit
He's
next
like,
to
"Well,
Jeff.
I'll come over and do your show." I'm like, "You don't have to come over. We just do it on Zoom, bud."
No, just have him go over by Jeff's chair and
We could sit on the couch like you had what's his name a few years ago,
Paul
Paul Hamman
Hamman.
and eggs.
Paul Hamman. Hey,
But
shout out to Paul. Paul, come on the show. Come on, man. You can do it. Continue, Joe.
yeah, no, absolutely just beautiful inside, beautiful decoration. I mean, I don't know how much it cost him, but he put a big investment into this. So that alone,
Yeah, a lot of money.
he's investing in Lake Forest,
Yep.
and that's a good thing for Lake Forest. Um, Food was terrific, staff is terrific. I mean, it is on the high end of the price scale. Let's make no
But
bones about it. Your check
but
will
it's
be
also
higher there than at Duffers.
it's right, and it's an experience. So we've had a couple people, and I'm going to say this for Bruno, just so people don't get mad at him. We've had more than a few people that have gone to Folia, and they were politely declined a seat inside because of a tire. So I think
Yes, they have an attire bowl.
Oh,
the expectation, though, everyone there, spending a lot of money, having great food. They want everyone to dress to impress. So I think that's important to kind of
Yeah,
say.
no shorts. I actually took a picture of the sign because we were having dinner with I was having dinner with my wife, my daughter, and my mother-in-law, and I got there ahead of time. Um, And so I took a picture of the dress code to make sure they were in compliance with the
Yeah,
dress code.
yeah.
So I'll send you guys, I'll give the picture so Pete can
so wait,
put
I
it up.
can't eat there?
You can eat there. You
His
dress. You don't
suit
even
might
need to
work
dress.
for you.
It's just I think it's no shorts, no t-shirts.
Oh,
I don't. I think jeans are very unwelcome.
oh,
What I heard, but it doesn't say no jeans. But I've
Well,
some
my
people think,
experience as a manager with
yeah,
jeans is there are people that can wear jeans well, and there are people
right,
that can't.
exactly. So I think it's
in what work environment?
yeah.
In
So just
in an
like
office work environment.
listen,
State government environment?
In any environment. But it could
just
be
pretend you're
it
going
could
to
be
a
it could
Wednesday.
be Pete, it
That's
could
like
be a
you're going to
Those
private
are the only
office
people
too.
that dress worse than me is governmental employees.
Well, if you go to the Illinois Secretary of State's office, I completely agree with you. Those people dress horrible. And they're wearing vests with Alexi G or shirts with Alexi Giannoulis's name on them. I mean, even Jesse White wasn't that.
Who
Um,
paid for that, Joe?
we did, of course.
Okay.
I mean, talk about free campaign ads, and supposedly Giannoulis is going to run for mayor of Chicago, but
All
though
right, I want to get you
can't get
rolling,
it.
Joe.
All right. But
Go back, go back to dinner. Go back to
back to
dinner.
the dinner. So we each had a different thing, and every item was good. I mean, I had the steak. I forgot what it was called. It had steak in it. I'm a red meat kind of guy, so um,
Steak expensive.
expensivo. How do you say that in Italian, Jeff?
So hold on, you got Sophia. Look, whatever. Look, price is one thing, value is another, right? So
Yeah.
if I hands down don't want to get anything screwed up, I go to Sophia's versus Deerpath, which is a crapshoot for me personally. Just saying.
Both great. Both great.
Both okay. That's Jeff saying it. So you got Sophia's on the one side, and then you got Follia catheter on the other. What's the difference in the ambiance and the food?
Ambiance, I would say,
Lighter, more light.
well, I mean, does Sophia have a dress code? I don't know. I've never.
I think there's an expectation. I don't know if they'll serve you in a swimsuit and flip flops, but yeah,
Shit.
if I always call it the Walmart, outfit. Like you can't just show up at a nice restaurant in a Walmart outfit. Like, and it's the same as the dog poop guy, right? Maybe they let you in, but shame on you. You know what I mean? So I
The
don't know.
dog poop guy. Oh, are you
Right. So
besmirching?
I had
Dog poop to food. My bad.
tagliata.
You reading a receipt right now?
No, I'm reading their menu that your friend posted. Your friend Peg posted on the LFLB
Oh, she did.
Takeout
Yeah, she
Dine In
built their
and
menu.
Music.
Yeah, for sure.
She posted their menu.
Yep.
So I had the tagliata. Sorry if I'm butchering the Italian here, which is sirloin steak, rosemary oil, potato fondant, grilled tomatoes, and citrus flavored Belgian endive.
So can I carry my Miller Lite from Jeff's into Folius? No.
Please don't do that. I don't.
Do they have domestic
I
beer in
need more
Folius?
friends, not less, Pete. Please.
They have a very nice I don't think they have I didn't see any beer. I think they have a very nice wine selection, a very nice cocktail
They
selection.
have beer.
They do?
No
Okay.
craft beer. They have bottle beer. I believe it's all import. I mean, you're not going to get a Miller Lite there.
You got
They got like a imported Italian beer, not even Peroni, like a step up of that. So it's they got some higher end, nicer beers. And like I said,
well,
these are experience driven restaurants, right? This isn't the Olive Garden. You're not
well,
going.
that's what I'm saying, Jeff. Give
Oh
me
yeah, yeah.
you have hold on, you have Sophia's, you got Folios.
Yeah, Lake
What
Colonial.
what's the fancy Chinese place? La Coloniale.
Colonial. Yeah.
So you can't
It's
get a
not cheap.
beer. You can't get a beer in La Colonial. I guess you can't get one in
You can get
Folio.
beer.
You get beer at Lake Colonial.
You can get beer at all these places. You just
You can't get good domestic beer in those places.
they typically don't serve draft. The higher end places typically don't serve draft, and they typically do not serve your basic American beers. You could get American craft beer, but you're probably not going to get a Miller Lite.
Give me a bottle of hops, please.
Well, I mean, hey, listen, there's great.
I know at Sophia they've got Stella, so
You're
that's
right.
all.
So you'll have your this
Let's take the three
and
places,
Stella
Jeff.
Light.
Can you like categorize the three places if you want to go out for a special night? For me, I'm just
Are you
saying.
including Deerpath, or are we just saying like Follia, Sophia's, Lake Colonial, no Deerpath in this?
And then there's also the place next to Deerpath,
La
Francesca?
Frankie's.
Francesca's.
Yeah,
Yes,
Francesca's.
which my wife loves. My wife loves Francesca's.
So Francesca's, like I love Francesca's. Like we'll go there. I mean, that's it.
Nice place,
It's
nice
a
people.
higher scale. I think Follia is like, like they're more expensive, but again, it's a experience driven, the higher end Italian
And
restaurant.
let's not forget our friend on the west side by the train station, Everett Farm.
Starbucks.
Commodities. Oh, Ever Farms. Yeah, I was just messing with you.
Speaking of Starbucks,
JDRs.
did you see that Starbucks said no?
That's a no-go. They pulled out, huh?
Yeah, I guess they can't put their flag up there. Pardon the pun. So
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah, what happened? The city
What
council
was that
green-lighted
spot?
it.
I read the whole thing. It said they didn't release the details. Starbucks backed out. I believe the city paved the way for it.
Yeah, city approved it.
And
Drive through and everything.
the owner of the property wanted it. It was but Starbucks decided to pull out. Now it could be Starbucks not, when they throw up stores, they don't look at neighborhoods and stuff. It's about units, so maybe they're scaling down in the Midwest, expansion phase right
They
now.
screwed themselves.
Well, there's only so many. I mean, there's only so many places you can put a Starbucks, right? I mean, they've oversaturated.
Well, I'll tell you this. So, like, our old Donati's took the old Starbucks in Lake Bluff, and then Starbucks moved and got a smaller spot in Knollwood with a drive-through. That is the worst drive-through ever. Like, I'd rather be stuck in traffic on the Dan Ryan than
Yes.
in that line, because you could be there for 2 minutes, you could be there for 40. You just don't know. And then when you
Yeah,
try
it's
to pull out,
faster
you
to
gotta
it's
do one of these.
faster to go in, to park and go inside. I know.
So the one where it's at now, it's not that bad. I mean, there's enough parking. You could park and walk in and get a Starbucks. I mean, we don't have a drive-through in East Lake Forest. I know, America.
I mean, I would prefer, yeah, Mary, go see Gerhardt's #1 for coffee.
Sure.
They've got the
Well,
best.
And then
hometown.
homeless coffee. Yeah.
Hometown and you know what? I'm going to give a shout out to Duncan, and here's why. Not
Yeah.
you're
Why?
you're going to do the cop joke, I know, but unlike Starbucks is corporate owned. Every Starbucks is owned by the Starbucks Corporation, which is based out in Seattle. Duncan are franchises, so that is owned by a local business owner. I don't know who it is here in Lake Forest for that location, and he may own a dozen other. As many, I used to have a neighbor back in Glenview who owned 50 Duncans, mostly in the city. But there is at least what I consider a small business owner, kind of like McDonald's, where yeah, there's the big McDonald's corporation, but there's a local franchise owner. So if you're trying to support small business, I'll pick Duncan over Starbucks anytime.
Anybody doesn't have a flag out in front. So Starbucks, you're in the business, Jeff. What happened with the environment that they used to have and they screwed the pooch and turned it into a McDonald's that people aren't digging? Because it used to be you'd go in and hang out and then they wipe the place clean and
I mean, they
nope.
still kind of have that, but I think a lot more coffee shops have popped up that are that also have free Wi-Fi and couches. And like Joe says, I think a lot of people like supporting local over big, major, huge corporations. And it's not like you're getting a deal. So if you're talking about McDonald's, a lot of people go to McDonald's because of value, like everything's
Wait, no. It's
I understand the number 8 is $12, but a cup of coffee at McDonald's is $2. Dunkin', I'm at almost 4. Starbucks, you're at 5+, right? So I think, where are you on that spectrum and how much money you want to spend on it, whatever. But I think they lost. They were unique for a long time, and now the market is caught up, and they're not unique anymore. So I think that would
well,
be
it used to be encouraging where, hey, we want you to hang out, and then they flipped the script with the colors, the feng shui of everything, where it's like in and out, beat it. They were protesting, oh, I don't want to wear an outfit, and an outfit is a clean shirt. Did you see that? They went on strike.
and that's what happens when you have a company that's international. I mean, it's they deal with so many different aspects. It's not like the Lake Forest Starbucks staff was doing that, right? So it's not like the Lake Forest. I never feel rushed out at the Lake Forest Starbucks.
Remember we have 2 Starbucks in Lake Forest.
Right. I'm sorry, the East one. I like the East one.
Actually, technically, there's 3. The third one's at Lake Forest Hospital.
Oh, at a hospital. Okay.
Yeah, the hospital. There's a Starbucks.
Touche. Well, it's like,
I mean, hopefully you don't need to be there to use it, but
the secret Starbucks in Lake Bluff is the one at Target. You're in.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got the
2
Target.
minutes. Don't tell everybody. So
We'll edit that out in post.
Unfortunately, nobody watches us. So. Your secret's safe with our 12 viewers.
Only when certain hosts arrive.
Right.
So all right. So the Starbucks isn't going there. And then there was something else in the news.
That corner is cursed. Isn't this like the second or third?
What used to be there, Jeff?
Where at?
where they
Oh,
wanted to.
when I was a kid, it was at Amoco gas station, and then next
Oh,
was Pasquesi
It's crazy, yeah.
nursery.
But this is at least the
oh yeah.
second thing that has been approved and
The
then
car
failed.
wash was the other contentious thing before.
Yeah, I mean
And there was
that's
going to be like
first.
a multi-purpose like strip mall at one point. So I don't think it's cursed at
I
all.
mean, retail is not what it was 5, 10 years ago. I mean, between the pandemic and Amazon and on other online shopping, it's really you're not seeing the expansive retail
Well,
that
and don't
you
forget
used to
that's a
see.
land lease too, so it's not like someone's walking in and renting something. You're gonna rent the land, build a building, and I mean I know Starbucks has more money than they know what to do with, but it's gonna be millions of dollars. So
I don't
I
know.
mean, there's a Starbucks. If you go up and down Waukegan Road, you've got the one you mentioned in Lake Bluff. You've got one,
you
I
got
think, in Deerfield.
Target, you got Westlake Forest, like you said, the hospital. Is there one on that tollway?
I mean, the only reason I thought that would do better than the one that's in the strip mall now next to Everett Farm is that you'd have the drive-through and you'd get all that traffic
Of
from
course.
Waukegan Road in there. But obviously,
It
they've
would do
crunched the
it.
numbers and it doesn't work. So
Well, like
we're
I said,
back to square one on taking it's kind of it's just I don't want to call it an eyesore because it's certainly not as bad as some other vacant properties around the North Shore, but um, it it's something you look at, you're like, man, can't they get something on this corner? It just seems like it would be a valuable corner for somebody, but the market's tough right now.
It's on the west side.
It's on a major highway though. Waukegan Road is the most traveled street in Lake Forest, Pete.
Joe, I mean, McDonald's really didn't make it there. Right?
Did they not make it, or did the landlord jack the rent
Yeah,
and
okay,
force
but
them out?
everything's negotiable. If McDonald's came back and was like, "Hey, okay, you jacked the rent, I'm going to
I
pay."
mean, I have a feeling they regret that now because I mean, nobody's going to banks anymore. So that was kind of a waste losing the McDonald's to a bank.
But
But
who regrets it? The property owner is probably
well,
changing
I
his
mean,
money as
until
much.
until all these banks start closing tons of branches, and I'm sure at
Yeah,
some point,
Why do you
was
need a
it Best
bank?
Chase?
What Chase? What do you need
yeah,
Chase
it's
for?
Chase. It's the Westlake Forest
You know
Chase,
what you need Chase for? The parking lot.
the parking lot.
So yeah, so we can park there. That's the
And
only
again,
reason.
I wouldn't
All right,
bank.
we're
I wouldn't
segueing
bank
over
at
to
a
parking. Bring
national.
it on.
I would not bank at a national bank either. I would bank at a local bank if you know,
So
Why bank at all? Do your
so you
kids
just
have
keep your
checking
money in your
accounts?
pocket.
How many kids have checking accounts now?
a lot
Kids
of
coming
them.
out of college, none.
Mine do.
Yeah, my kid just asked for one yesterday and he's 12.
My kids have investments.
Look, you don't need a bank for an investment. You need
Well,
Robinhood. So the other thing that came up was, and then Dan Dorfman, I love him, man. He just watches our podcast from 3 weeks ago. He's talking about electric bikes and scooters in town.
hey, give him a break. He had 38 other communities to get to.
Well, he's
Yeah,
always in Highland Park. That's his problem.
I think he lives in Deerfield or Highland Park. He said it
Same
to me
thing.
once. I
Same thing.
forgot. He
So,
said he'd come on the show. He's just nervous about he's a print guy. So
yeah.
he's not a broadcast guy. So
oh,
he's a little nervous about, not that we are either, but but
where does that put us?
he's a little nervous about going on a podcast. But I would love to chat with Dan about local news and stuff like that. I mean, he's not going to take a political side or on anything. I don't want him
No,
to.
Dan's always been really fair. I've
Yeah.
him 100
He
times.
is the last man standing, last person standing in local journalism. I
What
mean, it's
about that
kind of
other
sad.
rag? The other
What?
rag. What's the other rag? I forget.
Oh, the patch. Patch is a joke. Patch is a rewrite. Half their stories are rewritten from other sources, if you ever notice.
Yeah, I know. I got
There's not much original journalism in the patch.
Jonah Meadows ragged on my journalism skills. I'm sorry, Jeff. I make you uncomfortable talking about your buddy Jonah.
I've never heard of him.
Oh, okay. Man bun glasses like
Come on
Joe.
the show, Jonah. We'll talk. Well, it would be great to have Jonah and Dan on the show together and do
You know
like a
what I
local
think?
journal.
You know what
I
I
don't know
think crushed
I
him
don't know if
was
they're friends.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dorfman is definitely more polished. Well, consider the source, but he definitely he is more middle of the road, and I appreciate it. That next door, do you think that is putting a dent in those guys? Has
So,
anybody used Nextdoor? I seem to get a lot of response when I post on there.
next door is this. If you think Facebook and X are cesspools of craziness, next door is like an insane asylum.
They
I
definitely get
I
fired up
I,
about dog
I don't
poop.
have time in my day to start looking at next door. I just no. I
Well,
don't have the emotional bandwidth to read the
Yeah,
next.
yeah, there's too many apps as it is. I mean, I don't know. I can't.
It's just, I mean,
I get like
you know,
email alerts on it, but they're geographic. It's like your neighbor, and it's like my neighbor in Gurnee. I'm like, okay, well,
yeah,
that's
Yeah.
there was a shooting in your neighborhood in Waukegan. Like,
right,
I'm not in Waukegan.
right.
Sorry to hear about it, but I'm not. It's not
Well,
my neighborhood.
dog poop is pretty hot topic on that, and the bikes.
Well, school ought to get on there though.
But I think the bikes are. Yeah, I've heard some crazy stuff about these bikes.
What, Jeff? What have you heard?
I mean, there's kids from what I heard in Lake Bluff getting some big tickets. So
Oh, good.
I don't know if it's good. I mean,
What do you mean? Because it's your kid?
no, 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 no. My kid's not allowed to have one. He gets so mad at me. He wants one every day, and I'm like, and my big thing is, and it's not like I'm anti the scooters. I just think my kid, it's my body type. He's skinnier than me, but
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you need all the cardio you can get. You're on your 12 speed. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Like
Yeah. Right.
I'm
Right.
supposed to burn 1,000,000 calories. Like, get away from me with that. Uh, but yeah, so I don't know. I think it might have even been on the bike path. But I understand on the rules of the road, like the kids they got to get off the road. But I mean, this is here to stay. These things aren't going anywhere. So I think
Yeah. If
better
you don't write any
training,
tickets.
education. I mean, we could Illinois, you got to wear sunglasses to ride a motorcycle. A lot of states, you have to wear a helmet to ride a motorcycle. Maybe a requirement has to be, hey, they got to start wearing, protection, like a helmet or
Yeah.
wrist something. I think you could start mitigating it. I don't think you're going to stop it.
It's you talk to any cop, the bane of their existence is traffic enforcement. They really no cop gets into the law enforcement business to do traffic enforcement. They're there to
Right.
fight crime and make us safer, which I understand that speeding and recklessness does lead to unsafe conditions. But yeah, I mean, it's just you can't unless I want you to count. Somebody should go on the list of streets that are in Lake.
42,
There are 42 streets in Lake Forest. I think there's probably
I think
more.
there's a lot more than 42.
62. I don't even know
I
what
don't
the
know.
question is.
Let's find out. I'm sure somebody out there's got a Lake Forest street guide, or you can ask your Chat GPT, Pete, or Grok, whatever you're using now. Um,
You can use your farmer's almanac, Mr. Lotto.
you use artificial intelligence, I use natural intelligence. So, but
That's
the
that's a stretch.
whatever it is, and then the number of blocks that are on each street. Okay, so like even Oakwood has got how many blocks where it runs. So unless you have that number of police officers, I don't know how you're ever going to catch all this stuff. Now you can concentrate on hot zones and everything. And again, I think they should relocate. I think the city did make a mistake putting the police station out west. They should have put it on Oakwood, right by Scoo's house, because that would that would have solved.
Joe, let me give you a little math class. One is greater than zero. Something
I
is better than
understand,
nothing.
but to me, look, I can bring you to my neighbors out here, and they're constantly complaining about people speeding on Middle
You're on
Fork.
the far west side. You're like in the cornfields,
We're
dude.
in the city,
Far
though. We're,
west
we're just
side.
as much a Lake Forest resident as you, Pete. And there's that,
Still
and
the west side.
I'm sure there's
There's the
blocks.
south side of Chicago to north side.
There's a south side of Lake
You're on
Forest
the
too.
south
You'll
side of
be
Lake
very
Forest, dude.
Forest because I'm west and you're east. But
You got
there's the
all the
south end of Lake Forest out
cookie cutter
by Highland
businesses
Park.
and buildings and whatever. It's just the west side. It's just a natural
Oh,
thing.
the
East side
west side
versus
was
west side.
settled before the east side.
Yeah, because nobody wanted to
Do
live
you
there
know? Do you know
anymore. They
where?
all
Do you know
went to
where
the
the first
east.
settlement was in Lake Forest? It was not east. It was west. It was by Settler Square.
Yeah, and why ain't they there anymore? Because it sucks.
There's lots of people there.
Yeah, the wannabes. I want to be on the east side, but I
You guys are
can't.
getting off track here. Jeez.
Bring us back on
The
track,
biggest
Jeff.
house in the biggest house in the city is on the west side, the Lasker Mansion.
Of course, because that's where you put that stuff. That's where you put barns. Hey, hey, Jeff, what's the latest on the
Pete, don't
videos?
run for mayor. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Latest on
Hey,
what?
don't vote for me or
What
state's
did that
attorney.
speak?
I'm sorry. What? How
I don't
how
know.
are the videos coming? How did I met Nina, great
Oh,
lady.
yeah. No, it's doing good, man. We got a lot of funny ones.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting a whole production going there, I see on your social media.
She had one that like went mini viral. She got like 1,200 likes on
But
it.
does this let me ask you this because I'm kind of a bottom line guy.
Sure.
Does this bring in more customers for you
I
or
have no idea. I have no idea.
having
One is
fun?
greater than zero, Joe. Doing something is
Here's what
better
I
than
do
not
know,
doing anything.
Joe. It's fun. They
Yeah,
have
no, I'm
fun.
sure it is. I am.
Customers have fun. It's, listen, I mean, when you watch a commercial on TV, does it work? Did it drive people? I don't know how you measure that, right? But excuse me.
Half
But
of my
just having-
advertising works. The problem is I just don't know which half.
Right. No one does, but yeah, it's no, these kids do good, man. I mean, it's all, and then so
Well-
last week we were, me and Pete were pushing for some parking downtown Lake Forest.
We
Parking.
we were yeah, we were working it. We were working it.
Did you find a spot last night when you were parking?
It was okay. So funny you bring that up because it was pretty full.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, I got there sooner than my wife, daughter, and mother-in-law. They came together. So I parked on the street in front of Jewel, not in front of the parking lot, but further south in front of the Jewel building.
Right.
Which for me, no big deal. I'm pretty able-bodied.
Sure.
Now, my mother-in-law walks with a cane and has a handicap parking permit that we use. So they got the handicap spot in the lot there by Curl Bistro.
Yep.
And Curl Bistro had customers too out on the patio last night, so they were hopping too. So, but so it was a little bit of a challenge, and I think they had a valet set up, and it looked like they were using the garage underneath for the valet. I couldn't figure that out.
Yeah. I mean, so they're trying to work on it now. The issue is like down here by us is, there's some confusion, like some staff from different restaurants in the area are using street parking, which is clogging street parking. Our building is meant to be customer only, and then, you got the valet. Do you have to use a valet, not use a valet? So, but parking's been kind of crazy. So we're trying to, there's this, me and Pete were talking about, there's this huge city lot that goes basically from Woodland all the way to Chiefs, right? It's massive and it's permitted parking for, I think it's intended for the train mostly, right? And
east of the tracks.
East of the tracks, so it's off McKinley. So, I called the city yesterday to find out about parking. It's not unreasonable. So you have to be like a business, and then you could get a certain parking tags. You could buy however many you want, and they're interchangeable. $20 a month. I'm still gonna
wait, 20 per tag?
Per tag per month. But I'm still going to try to push to see if we, if the city.
See, that's government workers right there.
Write
Can't
an
they
email
see
or
you get
something.
more
Let's
taxes
get
if they
some free parking after 4 p.m.
That's so they don't have to raise our property taxes, Pete.
Yeah, the parking dollars is just no. It's
Yeah, but
it's
yeah, I do think when they were having the discussions about Follia, how do you say it?
Yep.
Follia coming in, I thought there was a reference to that the employees would be parking.
They should, yeah. We're in the process of moving all our staff over there. Like I got to get. But
they didn't mention that they'd have to be permitted. So.
Yeah. So we have a couple choices. We could. A lot of businesses push that cost onto staff, but these are young kids, so
that's a little.
We'll probably buy.
Maybe we can talk to the mayor about that one and see if they can.
They're interchangeable.
See if they can work out a. I mean, if we want to be business friendly, maybe we want to do things to accommodate that too.
Well, here's the thing:
get more revenue into the city through real means like.
Jeff's just step on. Keep going.
Listen, after 4, if that lot is free, it will drive more people into our downtown because we're at the point I was trying to make yesterday. Even with a lot up here, a lot down there. You saw the street. That is a Tuesday night. You had to walk 2 city blocks.
Yeah.
On Friday, I mean, you're gonna
But Sophia's been that way for years, though. It's
so
been I've had to park as far as Era Gashgarian's orthodontist office to get to Sophia unless I use the valet.
But there's other different, things, and especially if we're going to do the Italian grocery store back here, I think one of our challenges is like let's make great parking in East Lake Forest. That lot is key. That lot is awesome. That will hold so many cars. It'll drive people to
I think once the Deerpath construction is all done and everything's opened back up, that would be a great conversation, I think, for everyone to have in the city. And again, I think my overall impression is that the people running Lake Forest today are much more business friendly than, say, 20 years ago when they said no way to Costco. Because I think today's administration would say yes to Costco, but that's a moot point. But I think that I think you can have that conversation because I think they see the bigger picture of having more business in town. And
well, and I was telling Pete, imagine going to the Lantern, right? And in those spots, you got Authentico right there. It's kind of it's
and Authentico's a great place too.
And
great shout out.
That lot is literally 50 feet away, right? So if we're not using it for train parking after 4 o'clock, we should encourage downtown customers, employees, everyone to use that lot. There's so many spaces. We have great parking in Lake Forest. I think we just need to utilize it better.
Yeah, I think the morning commutes are by 4 o'clock. Most of the metro parking is emptied out at that point. So I think they probably want to avoid overnight parking. I can understand.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You just put up a sign.
So you put a curfew on it.
Parking like we do, by City Hall and stuff. There's 3-hour parking everywhere. I think after 4, this massive lot next to the business district running parallel with it needs to be 3-hour.
And quite honestly, there's fewer people on Metro. I mean, those Metro lots, if you go either Metro station, those Metro station lots were built pre-pandemic when you had to walk like 5 blocks to park to get on a train in the morning because everybody else was riding the train. But with people working from home more and all that stuff, there's a lot less use of those metro lots on the east side and the west side and anywhere in the Chicago area. I mean, Metro's hurting now for revenue, but so I think it's a good conversation to have to look at the bigger picture and figure out ways if we're going to put more restaurants and nice things in the CBD, Central Business District. Let's figure out ways to open up parking and, whether it's lots, whether it's less restrictions on paid parking and things like that. I think it'd be a great idea.
So where are we at on Deerpath now? Like I don't even go. I haven't driven by there.
Oh, I go there all the time.
I went to the UPS store yesterday. It is.
UPS. Go to support these businesses. Even Walgreens, support them.
Lane's off right now.
Why don't you go see Mike at Pack and Ship there, Jeff? I thought you were a local guy.
I had to send my Comcast. I always go to Mike, but I had to send my Comcast boxes back. The biggest joke in the world is we switched from Comcast to DirecTV finally because Comcast for a year and a half refused to put on the channel that the White Sox, Bulls, and Blackhawks were on. So we switched over Brodsky's 7-8 months ago. So I finally did this store. I was like, screw it, we have to do it. We did it.
And then Comcast.
A week later, after waiting a year and a half, Comcast is like, yeah, it's done.
And they took and because of that, they took the over-the-air one off. The one for the rabbit ears.
Yeah,
and I just spent money and time putting up the rabbit ears in my attic here. I think we talked about it with Scoo one week on the show. So there's an hour and $50 that I'll never get back. But
so I had to go return 15.
And we use YouTube TV for our TV.
Well, we can't like bars and restaurants. You're not allowed to use those type. You have to. You can stream, but you have to have a commercial stream because you're doing.
Jeff, why don't you clue everybody in? We talked about fruit flies last week. Let's talk about the joys of music and entertainment licensing ship with like BMI and ASCAP and all that.
I mean,
they shake you down?
Oh yeah, of course they shake me down. So
tell everybody what I'm talking about.
So if you're a bar, restaurant, if you're playing any sort of music, Well, so there's loopholes to this. Like we used to be touch tunes only, and then we didn't have to pay these licensing fees. Once you have a band, karaoke, any of that, all bets are off. Now you got to start paying those things. And they send you based on your occupancy, you got to pay for music licensing. So it's kind of like a band is here, so the artist who wrote that song in California, his grandkids get a check.
Yeah.
That, right? So it's just a shakedown. It's you listen to the radio for free, but then there's commercials. I wish they would give you an option during the band sets, being like, this was sponsored by Tide today, and we wouldn't have to pay.
Why can't you just put the radio on?
You can't. Well, if you do the radio, you have to pay. If you do any of that, you have to pay. Yes. So the only thing that's exempt is touch tunes because they pay, and then you split the money with them, right? So does that make sense? So touch tunes pays the licensing fees for you. They have
What about XM?
massive contract. I don't know if there's a commercial XM. I've never thought about XM.
It's BMI as
We already pay it now, so we just do our own thing. So
the BMI.
So when Lantern because Lantern has that cheesy karaoke night that, and I mean that in a very
be
affectionate
careful.
way,
You might
Lantern.
not. Yeah. So I would say most, like the bigger bars and restaurants, definitely pay it. There's probably a million.
I don't want to narc on them. I hope I don't.
You know what
get
I'm saying?
in
So
trouble.
like,
I feel bad.
someone might
They're
not
local
get, and you could get like this crazy fine, and they could tie you up. And then the real bad, like for instance, fights, right? So if you're looking at the Jake Paul fight, we're gonna get the Jake Paul fight for Saturday night. So it's gonna probably cost. I think they charge $20 based on your occupancy. Like it's gonna cost a couple few grand, right? If you air that, like you stream that with your personal account and you get caught, your fine is so massive. And then what happens is if you don't pay the fine, you get blacklisted from both DirecTV and Comcast. So now imagine being a sports bar that illegally does a fight, and now you can't have TV anymore. You're out of business, right?
Yeah, that would suck.
So that's how, you got to be really careful. No one thinks about these extra.
What's the rationale I've seen some places they have the sporting events on, but then they play music, and some places just have the audio from one of the sporting
Yeah,
events.
so we do that. It comes down to the size of the game and the interest in the game, right? So, if game 7 for basketball, the sound was on. The game 6 on all the hockey games we always have, for the Stanley Cup, we have the sound on. But if it's, the B League in Germany and it's on TV, like no one wants to listen to it, but they just want a background, visual stimulation. So.
Well, is it true that when bars play music, the reason bars play music loud is because you talk less and drink more, buy more drinks? I heard that once.
It kind of keeps the vibe up. So the louder the music, not crazy loud, but if the music's going, you're feeling more energized. Same reason why Vegas doesn't have clocks, right? You just feel like you're going, and like you rarely see clocks at bars.
Because the old time bars, and I'm sure every bar 50, 100 years ago, they didn't do music. Everybody just sat in a bar. But I guess
but those were more like taverns, right? That's the Cheers.
Yeah, a piano, pickled eggs.
Yeah. So, but if you're going to like a sports bar, you want music, you want certain type of food, you want sport, you want to see 1,000 different games at once, and you feel like you're in Disney World on something. You're like, oh,
if you have a business, an office complex, whatever it is, you can't just turn on your Spotify and play the music, or you get a big wedgie.
Again, how's that enforced in an office? Like no one's ever enforcing it in.
I've seen it, and those guys, Jimmy Hoffa isn't dead. He works for ASCAP and BMI.
They'll get you though. They'll find you.
I'd hate to see something happen here.
Yeah. Hoffa.
All right.
Allegedly.
Are we talking about Lake Forest days next?
Yeah.
You need the allegedly bell back, Pete.
There you go. It's back.
Joe, did you see Pete sent me the YouTube video of Lake Forest days? Did you get the chance to watch it?
No, I have not had a chance to watch it.
Where do you get a beer
to
now?
Me too.
Well, so they got the new tennis courts in, which are beautiful, but they're moving the beer garden to where like the kiddie rides used to be.
Oh, I heard about this.
I didn't know Randy was a tennis player.
And so,
okay. I heard about this, and so I asked some questions.
Come on, Randy, open up the jail.
The city just spent
A lot of
$500,000 putting in those new tennis courts, and they're the only tennis courts in the whole city that are competition quality.
They overpaid.
So you're not going to. I understand the 1 day of Lake Forest Day and the tradition and everything, and people don't want to stand in grass, but you're going to blow $500,000 investment
no.
for that? I wouldn't. I get it that it's
I would have the
it,
Legion put down some shag carpet. They got plenty of shag over there.
oh, jeez. I just think I look, I get it that people like being on concrete when they're drinking. Well, at least yeah, hopefully the whole night, but um
Well,
it's a $500,000 investment. Now maybe you could argue maybe they should have put the tennis courts somewhere else instead of there, or maybe the city shouldn't be building tennis courts. They should leave that to private organizations. But that train's left the station. That $500,000 investment is there now, and I think the city does have a responsibility to protect its investment.
I
okay.
agree. I agree with everything you said on that. The only thing I'm nervous about is
If
I
it's
just
raining and it's muddy and
raining, muddy, mosquitoes, accessibility. I
well,
just
there's always been mosquitoes at
How are you
Lake.
going to get a
I learned
volunteer
I learned the
now?
first year of Lake Forest Day, put bug spray on before you go.
yeah.
That beer jail and the volunteers, nobody's going to volunteer working in a swamp. Well, they will for the free beer. Sure, they tear the tickets.
Yeah, I just don't know how it's going to be. I almost think they're better off and it's where the spot is. I don't like, but the what's the little road? I mean, is it Summit technically that connects Summit to Woodland?
Oh, that block
Block, that's next to the island of
Yeah.
grass. It's not in front of any.
close off that street.
That would be a
Neighbors,
thousand
you'd have to
times.
have a conversation with all those houses,
I
but
hope I hope someone's watching this because that will be 1,000 times better if they actually just use the street and fence that off and encompass that island. That would be
well, kind of like you had Western Avenue fenced off for your block party.
if you want to make the beer garden successful and awesome like it's been, that is the way to do it. Putting
You
it,
would just you would have to like warn the houses there so that they can
it's
get
Lake Forest
their
days. Those
car out.
houses
But yeah,
already
that's true.
know.
They're used to
No,
Lake Forest Day to begin with. You're
Joe,
right.
no, Joe, where I'm talking about, you wouldn't block one driveway. There, if you're on Summit and there's woodland, there is a diagonal
Oh, okay.
road
You're right. You're right.
that connects the two.
My bad.
So half the side is on the park, the other half is on this
Sure.
grassy island that I'm assuming the city owns anyways. So that is Lake Forest Day coordinators. If you're watching or if you guys want to send this to somebody, that is the spot to move the beer garden. You want to look at that right away because where you're about to do it is not a good idea. It's going to be terrible for many reasons, and everyone's going to call and complain. So
But
get that moved over to that.
but if they're going to do this grass, first of all, let's think about before I forget, let's give a shout out to the Miller Lite rep. What was his name?
Oh man, why are you doing this to me?
Come on.
Which one are you
Mike,
talking about?
Matt, little short guy.
Oh, you're
hitting on
talking
my
about
wife.
Jake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jake Matson. Jake Matson's awesome. I thought you were talking about like the main. He was here too, but no, Jake Matson's awesome. He's our
No, he was
local rep.
he lives in your coolers. I love that. So
Yeah,
why-
yeah. No, he's one of the coolest guys. He's always on top of his job.
So he's the one that's going to have to bring that keg truck in, and that's
Well,
gonna
I
be
talked to
right.
him yesterday about this. So his boss John will be he always runs Lake Forest Days. And they're gonna I'm assuming they're gonna do the two things like they always do. So I mentioned it to him too. Listen, I'm still gonna go. I'm not trying to rain on this parade, but I just think there's a much, much better option right where
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to what the weather's like. If it's dry like it's been,
right.
it should be okay. But if it's been raining, I mean, if it's raining during the event, the attendance is going to be down anyways.
No matter
But
what. Yeah.
right, but if it had been raining and now it's stopped, but the grass is still muddy, I can see where people get upset about it. But like I said, you have to
Yeah, but
look at that versus the $500,000 investment that the city just
Yeah,
made.
let's get off the tennis courts. Forget about the
Yeah.
tennis courts. That's what I'm saying. So I just think, and my argument too is I think we're the proposed spot based on the video.
Bill Lynch, and I am the co-chair of the Beer Garden at Lake Forest Day.
And I am Anna Holland, Lake Forest Day Carnival and Parade Outreach Coordinator.
Due to the renovations of the tennis court at West Park, the Beer Garden will be relocated to the southern part of the park close to Sunset Place. We will issue wristbands for adults who wish to purchase alcohol. We have fantastic live entertainment scheduled each night of the carnival.
We have limited space and there will be no food tent this year. Instead, we will welcome 5 food trucks with a variety of popular offerings. We'll have Rosati's, the Left Bank Cluckers, La Plancha Loca, and Fork and Fry for gluten-free poutine and fries. Of course, your favorite corn tent and Windy City Carnival concessions from corn dogs to funnel cakes will still be available. So please join us for Lake Forest Day Parade and Carnival, August 5th and 6th, here at West Park. We look forward to...
Is much closer to the houses than this would even be. So
Might work out even better than the current location. The location.
I know they use it for parking, and maybe that was a concern that they'll lose those 40 spots because a lot of people park on the island. But I don't know.
I remember way back Glenview had an issue. They used to do their fireworks, their 4th of July fireworks, on the Glenview golf course because it was the only open space for many years in Glenview that they could use. But every year the golf course would get destroyed from the fireworks, so they'd have to spend a lot fixing it up after the 4th of July.
Sure.
So they said, well, they just opened up the Glen where the Naval Air Base was, and they have a huge park there, and they wanted to move it there. And all the old timers in Glenview were like, no, don't move it to the Glen. It's always been over here. Who cares about the golf course? And it took them like 10 years. And they finally moved it over, and it turned out to be a much better venue. So maybe there's another solution out there that nobody's thinking of.
I know.
It makes it even greater place.
Well, and then did I watch the video right though? They're not doing like the dogs and brats and burgers anymore either. Is that right, Pete? I think they get in the video they said they got rid of like all that kind of food and they're just switching to 4 food trucks.
You're right. Yeah, they're going to do the food trucks, right?
Right. So you got.
Are they local at least?
Well, some of them are, yeah, for sure. So you got. I think yes, they're all local. I mean, if you encompass Highwood as well. You got Left Bank, you got Rosati's, you got La Pancha. I don't know how to pronounce it, but La Pancha, I'll say. And then there's a gluten-free food truck. The only other thing, like, we do all the football games and stuff, and the Legion kind of did it exactly like we did it in the past, is you kind of just, you cook all these burgers and dogs and brats and you have them ready. You walk up before you give them money and it's grab and go. Food trucks, I don't know if 4 is going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to some of those football games at the other schools, and the food trucks run out pretty quick.
They're cooking to order. I mean, Left Bank will keep up because dogs just got to get hot and then they serve and go. But
I'm glad Left Bank got in because we want to help them out. And
hey, Susan, come on the show. Why are you such a chicken? She's got that nice little.
They don't serve chicken at Left Bank, Pete.
See, they should, but she's got that nice wagon. I asked, hey, you need any help getting it down by the beach? And she doesn't want to make any waves, pardon the pun.
Get Forrest on. If we have to record the show at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon for him, but
if we change this podcast to like a beer around the table, we'll have Forrest. He's so fun. I love Forrest.
But Left Bank, guys, everybody, please go to lunch at Left Bank. I mean, it's a great food, great value. We're talking about all the expensive restaurants in town. But Left Bank is great value and great history. It goes back to the 60s with the Pasquazes, and it's just.
And honestly, that whole family is really nice. So Susan's been nothing but nice to us.
She'll be nice if she comes on the show.
Forrest's father and Forrest and his sister. His sister used to work here at Duffers, so and
it's not just hot dogs. They got salads, they got brats, they got a whole bunch of different stuff. Their soups are really good and everything there.
A very nice sloppy Joe. Let's wrap this up here with since the Friends of Lake Forest Parks and Rec have reached out to come on the show. let's talk about their July 4th celebration here. I'll put the info here, but July 4th, 5 to 10, and there's tickets online, $25.
It's reasonable.
Price says who? Price increases to $30 June 20th. So, okay, so
Big
it's
incentive.
$30.
Yeah.
Never mind. It's a rain or shine event.
That means you don't get your money back.
You don't get your money back.
Yeah, so I mean, what we've always done, we wait and just buy it. We wait for the weather, and then we pay the little extra if the weather is good. We just go there and pay at the gate. Because I don't want to. No, I love you, Parks and Rec Foundation, but I don't want to spend the money if it's rained out. But it's a little tight right now. So,
do you mind if I finish?
Yeah.
Music by Dancing Queen and the Shagadelics.
Oh yeah.
Dancing Queen, ultimate ABBA tribute band, and Shagadelics, 70s classic rock and roll. See, you probably got both of those bands for under a couple grand. Way to go. See, that's smart. So they have all that stuff. Parks and Rec. I don't know who's leading that anymore, but maybe they want to reach out to us next time to come on and promote a little bit more. What's going on with that artificial turf and the fireworks now? Is that still an issue? Are we going to have high heels on the artificial turf, or that's over with?
I think they did it last year, right? And it all worked out.
I don't know. I wasn't there. Were any of you guys there? I have no idea. They used to shoot
Yeah,
off
we were there. It went very well. It was very nice. And because it was on the artificial turf, there were less bugs than when it was on grass.
That makes sense.
Though I would still recommend to everyone going, put some bug spray on, because there's still, I mean, we're in a very natural environment, which is great, but that means there's bugs.
Say your PSA. What about sunscreen, Joe?
Eat free.
There's sunscreen though. I mean, yeah, because the problem is it starts when the sun is up, so you kind of have to have both. But
Joe, you wore a lot of zinc on your nose back in the day, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right, boys. I think all the toothpaste has been squeezed out of this tube. What's going on this weekend at the establishments, Jeff?
We got back-to-back rib champion Czerniak. They're coming out to smoke ribs this Sunday. And then we got Ethan Larson playing at the same time. He's a country guy. He does Zach Bryan. He does Luke Holmes. He does the whole slate. So he does all those covers. So we got Ethan Czerniak on a Sunday. The weather's looking beautiful.
Country music and barbecue, you can't beat it.
I mean, yeah. So I'm
forget about it. So Sunday at what time? 1 o'clock?
Yeah, 1 o'clock. Usually the ribs around 2, but come early and nothing.
The ribs you had at the block party were great.
Yeah, no, they did awesome. Sticky
fingers.
Great job. Those were the Knollwood boys, and then Czerniak's the East Lake Bluff guy. So
you're making the rounds there.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, is the water back on in Lake Bluff?
It was. So it was very confusing to a lot of people because Knollwood technically has Lake Bluff addresses. So a lot of people don't even realize that they live in Knollwood or Lake Bluff or where in the sanctuaries incorporated Lake Bluff, but it's like it's like Westlake Forest, I guess, as Pete would say. But it's so everyone's getting these boil alerts. The health department even emailed me one at Brodsky's, and we're on a different system. They're like, boil alert, and I'm like, no, we're not on this. Trust me.
Well, because we went to the other door.
They were on it. Yep.
And they were fine with the food, but there's usually a bucket of, they have the tap water out for those of us who are too cheap to buy a drink. And they had to have a sign up saying, sorry, due to Lake Bluff boil order, no tap water available, bottled water, 25 cents. So I was like, that's when I found out what was going on. And then, of course, Bill's scanner reporting kept me up to date. What's the guy's name? Bill.
Hey, Bill,
Bill,
why don't
who
you
works
come
at
on?
Heinen's.
Well, and it was just because I think it was a
Good
pressure
guy,
issue. It was a pressure issue. It wasn't actually, the water was never contaminated, so it was fine.
Precautionary, that's all.
Does anybody actually boil the water, or did people just like say, I'm not going to use the water?
On the west side, they boil the water, don't they?
I guarantee you there was people that probably.
No, we wouldn't. Trust me. We would just go buy bottled water. Pete.
There was probably some people that were afraid to shower that day.
Do you have outhouses on the west side? They're really nice outhouses.
We have in-houses. You're welcome to use it anytime.
I don't know why you hate on the west side of Lake Forest, Pete.
It's the west side.
I grew up on the west side. I love
You're on the west, exactly.
What is the west? Define the west side, because I hear different.
Technically,
Tracks.
it's west of 41, right? That's how it used to be. But I think people know West Lake Forest as basically west of Waukegan Road. And then if you get to South Lake Forest, then you kind of encompass west of 41. So but like, I don't consider King Muir West Lake Forest. But as soon as I gotta go on West Deerpath, I'm like, okay, that's West Lake Forest. But really, in my head, West Lake Forest is from Middle Fork all the way up to Old Mill, and then to
McKinley 41. To the lake. That's east side.
There's some.
Well, not to be confused with Bradley Road.
Some people
that
think it ends at Sheridan Road. Some people think it ends at Sheridan Road.
Yeah, they're all in Lake
people
Forest.
People off Bradley Road think they live in West Lake Forest. I'm like, no, that's unincorporated. See, and then
the fake forest.
What's fake forest? What is that?
That's a derogatory term used by some people.
Those are people that used to live in Glenview that moved to
Lake Forest. Yeah, okay, that's a term against a person, not a geographical location.
Well, I've heard it used about my neighborhood. I've heard it used about Conway Farms.
Well, that is your neighborhood, yes.
No, I'm not in Conway Farms.
You're the cookie.
Very far from Conway. What's that?
Pete, you got to get out a little more.
Why? I'm the boy.
Hey, Pete, come to the Republican side of town. Trump won here. He lost where you live.
Depending on the lines are drawn. All right, I'm sure we broke the internet again. Jeff Urso, Joe Weiss, another great episode of the Lake Forest Podcast. Hey, Scoo, hopefully you're shooting them great today. Thanks for coming on. Bye, guys. The Lake Forest Podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Michelle Parno has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit LaracyCPA.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa, located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank you for. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Otto, John C., Helen, Herrick, JM, and Paul G.